Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
The weather has been the story so far in this series at Wrigley. Rain on Thursday, wind on Friday. Lots of sunshine today for Game 3. It's a gorgeous Saturday afternoon here on the north side as we get you set for Chicago Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Sunny skies, the wind blowing in once again, and it's the third of a 4-game weekend set as the Cubs entertain the first-place Cincinnati Reds. Hi again, everyone. Bob Brenly and Len Casper with you. The Cubs won on Thursday to start this series. A sloppy 5-error game and a 10-8 loss yesterday. And while it was not a good game for the Cubs, Bob, nobody in the clubhouse blaming it on the youth.
Well, lack of concentration is not age-specific. It happens to veterans. It happens to young players. I think if anything, you can explain away the conditions yesterday. For some of the guys, it's the first time they've seen wind like that at Wrigley. But the lack of concentration, it doesn't matter how old you are. Let's hear from the manager, Dale Swaim, on some of the young players battling through adversity and getting through the grind of a long season.
It's not the easiest times right now, so you gotta, the young guys that haven't been through things like this or haven't been through them in the big leagues, it's a big part of the maturing the process is the adversity of this game. Young and youth and the number you put on age, whether it's 21, whether it's 26, for the most part, a lot of time these guys have played a lot of baseball. It's being able to slow the game down here, and slowing the game down, people don't realize, is being able to think before you react.
So today is a new day. It'll be veteran right-hander Bronson Arroyo for the Reds and lefty Travis Wood facing his former team for the first time. Well, it was an afternoon of the bizarre on Friday with that vicious wind. We'll see what happens in Game 3 today. Reds and Cubs are next.
Is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy? Toyota. Right now you can get a lot for less at your local Toyota dealer, official partner of the Chicago Cubs. The new wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. BMO Harris Bank. Helping money make sense. BMO Harris Bank. NA member FDIC. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Now the Reds Southwest starting lineup, 10 runs on 15 hits in a win yesterday to snap a 5-game skid. COZART, Stubbs, Phillips at the top. Ludwig, Frazier, HEISEY in for Jay Bruce and Wright. Valdez, Hanigan, and Arroyo. Travis Wood's anxious to face his former team for the first time. And there's a ground ball off the bat of Zach COZART to Luis Valbuena. I think that's the first time we haven't heard your voice before the first pitch.
How about that, huh? A lot of people love that.
No, nice to hear your voice.
Take a look at the Cubs defensively today. Soriano, DeJesus, and LAHAIR across the outfield, left to right. Valbuena, Castro, Barney, and Rizzo once again across the infield, third to first. Steve Clevenger will try to go 9 innings behind the plate today for left-hander Travis Wood. Wood coming off a loss against the San Diego Padres. He actually pitched pretty well. 6 innings, 5 hits, gave up 2 runs. He did walk 3 batters in that game, something you'd like to see him cut down on.
1-0 on the center fielder Drew Stubbs. Reds winning yesterday. The Pirates lost last night, so Cincinnati has a 3.5 game lead in the NL Central. Stubbs 1 for 10 so far in the series.
As we've watched Travis Wood throughout this season, Len, one thing we've discovered, if he's got that cutter working on both sides of the plate, that's when he's at his most effective. You see Steve Clevenger move to the outside corner against right-handed hitters. It's many times going to be that cut fastball that starts just off of the outside corner and moves back to the strike zone. Very key pitch for him against all these righties in the Reds lineup.
Here comes the lefty's 2-2 pitch. And it's hit foul out of play. Let's check the umpires. Jim Wolf, the brother of Brewer left-hander Randy Wolf, will get the plate. Ron Culpa, Jeff Nelson, the crew chief, and Alan Porter on the bases. Another foul. The wind is blowing straight in once again, coming out of the north today at 15 miles an hour. And according to the forecast, it may actually blow out from the southwest tomorrow. We'll see. 72 beautiful degrees. Got it. Called strike 3, and Stubbs knew it.
As that cut fastball works its way back toward the middle of the plate, Stubbs just freezes on it. For a right-handed hitter, that pitch, when it leaves his hand, appears like it's going to be out of the strike zone away. So a lot of right-handed hitters will quit on that pitch, and then the late movement brings it right back into the zone.
Big series so far for Brandon Phillips, 5 for 10. He's been hitting in that 3 spot with his infield mate Joey Votto on the disabled list, and the Reds got some bad news regarding Votto. He had to have a little cleanup procedure on that surgically repaired left knee. That was yesterday as he flew home to Cincinnati. It's only going to push his return back maybe 7 to 10 days. They could be looking now at late this month as opposed to the middle part of the month. So the Cubs won't see him next weekend either. But having said that, we've been talking about the fact that the Reds are not only 17-8 without their best player, but they've actually increased their lead in the division. Wood goes 1-2-3 quickly in the top of the first. Bronson Arroyo will take the ball when we return. They almost came all the way back. They scored 8 times on 13 hits. Now their Southwest starting lineup: DeJesus, Barney, and Rizzo at the top. Soriano, Castro, and Valbuena in the middle. Brian LaHair gets to start because Brett Jackson's out. We'll tell you why. Steve Clevenger hits 8th with Travis Wood 9th.
Take a look at the Reds defensively today. Ryan Ludwig, Drew Stubbs, and Chris HEISEY left to right across the outfield today. It'll be Wilson Valdez and Zach COZART on the left side of the infield. Brandon Phillips and Todd Frazier on the right side. Ryan Hanigan doing the catching today for veteran right-hander Bronson Arroyo. See his numbers on the season for the Cincinnati Reds. This is his 25th career start against the Cubs, his 13th here at Wrigley Field. We don't have enough room to put the pitch selection for Bronson Arroyo. He will invent things out there as he feels the need. Sidearm breaking ball to start the game at 71 miles per hour. Been good here at Wrigley. His last 6 starts, perfect 4-0 with an ERA just over 2.5.
Yeah, and there are a lot of guys in the Cubs lineup with less than stellar numbers against Bronson Arroyo. DeJesus 2 for 11, Castro 2 for 14, Barney 1 for 7. Soriano's hit .222 and 45 career at bats. Well, no Brett Jackson today. DeJesus in center, LaHair in right. Jackson is available to pinch hit, but he's a little sore after that collision in the outfield late in the game yesterday. And the 2-1 on the way is on the inside corner. The Cubs with at least 1 first-inning run in 7 of their last 8 games at home. And David DeJesus has led off the bottom of the first with a hit 5 times in those 8 games, including 2 triples and a double. He's worked a full count, 3-2.
Bronson Arroyo is the type of pitcher, if you will show him that you're going to swing at pitches out of the zone, he won't throw you a strike all afternoon. Takes advantage of the hitter's aggressiveness.
Fly to center. Stubbs going back on it, and he's got it over the shoulder on the warning track. Nice play. Let's go back to yesterday. The wind playing all kinds of tricks. And this could have been worse than it was. You see Brett Jackson. Well, I bet he came in 80 to 90 feet after thinking that ball was going to be in deep center. And rammed into the leg of Castro near that right shoulder.
We'd have to check the Farmer's Almanac, Len. It may have blown harder here at Wrigley Field at some point this season, but I don't think we've had a day where the wind affected the play on the field as much as it did yesterday. Unbelievable.
Talking with both managers before the game today, they had never seen the wind blow that hard consistently over the course of what ended up being basically 4 hours during a long Friday afternoon game. Darwin Barney hits a high chopper that's cut off by Valdez, the third baseman. 2 outs. Let's get our Coors Light freeze cam. Now watch this off the bat of Wellington Castillo. That ball was going to originally go right towards second base, and look where it ends up. Still not sure where it's going to be. And it lands on top of the Reds dugout.
Unbelievable. Catcher, first baseman, second baseman on a dead sprint toward their own dugout. That ball looked like it was going to land behind the pitcher's mound.
I'll cue the Benny Hill music. One strike on Anthony Rizzo. 3 for 6, 3 walks, 3 runs so far in the series. Royals 6'4", 193. He's 35 years old. He has been very durable for the Reds. That glances off the glove of COZART. It is a base hit. It's a hit for Anthony Rizzo.
Oh, struck well right back up the middle of the field. Good concentration by Rizzo to focus on that pitch as the hot dog wrapper blew right by in front of home plate as that pitch was being delivered. COZART with a diving effort up the middle of the field. Ball glances off his glove. That'll be an infield hit for Anthony Rizzo.
So that gives Soriano a chance with a runner on 2 outs. He's knocked in 8 runs over his last 6 games, and he has a steal in 3 of his last 4. Swings at the first pitch. Drew Stubbs back now in to end the inning. 2-out single, no runs. Scoreless after 1 on a beautiful day on the north side.
The Cubs battle the Astros this Monday night. Game time is 7:05, but be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans at the ballpark will receive a limited edition, exclusive Starlin Castro bobblehead compliments of D'Agostino's. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Who's he rooting for?
Great day to be out in the bleachers. Just to be outside. Travis Wood anxiously awaiting the second inning. He has not wasted any time today. He actually started at 3:04 for a 3:05 start. HEISEY will make the grab. Ryan Ludwig out on 1 pitch. We told you about Travis Wood shaving his head. Oh, maybe 10 days ago. It was his first haircut as a Chicago Cub. The last haircut he got, he was a Cincinnati Red. It was over a year ago. It's Todd Frazier, the first baseman. And a base hit. He is a good-looking hitter, isn't he?
He really is, Len. I had a long talk with Chris Spire, former Cubs coach and a former coach on my staff in Arizona, about Frazier, and they think he's going to be an outstanding major league hitter, filling in at first base most recently for the injured Joey Votto, but could find himself at third base in the very near future when Votto returns. We're talking about shaved heads, Travis Wood took it right down to the nub. So did Reds broadcaster Hall of Famer Marty Brenneman. Said he would shave his head if the Reds won 10 in a row. Well, you get what you ask for.
Yeah. Well, they did it at home plate, didn't they?
Yeah.
They raised some money for charity.
Yep.
And saw him the other day. I said, "You look great." He said, "I don't know about that." Chris HEISEY, in his first start in the series, he's playing right. Jay Bruce getting another day off during his struggles. LAHAIR, 2 hands on it. It's very aggressive here early on against their former teammate. The 2 outs, it'll be Wilson Valdez, the third baseman. We haven't seen Scott Rowland in this series, dealing with a sore back.
That's why I speculated that you're going to see a lot of Todd Frazier over at third base. Scott Rowland has been a great player for a long time, but his body is betraying him a little bit here. At his advanced age, can't play regularly at third base anymore, needs regular time off, so Frazier could get a lot of at-bats over there at the hot corner.
Reds have a good bench, and they've been able to fill the void so far with Votto out, and again getting really good pitching as Valdez grounds out weakly to first base. So Travis Wood hasn't even made 20 pitches yet, and he's through 2 innings. The fan on the street a chance to show off their sports knowledge and fill up their tank. Then join us Tuesday at 7 at the 50-50 on Division for a chance to test your Chicago sports trivia on the show. Gas Money, presented by Honda, tomorrow night at 7, only on Comcast Sportsnet. We could all use a little gas money, couldn't
Absolutely. Takes a little more money to fill up the gas tank now than it used to.
Starlin Castro will lead off for the Cubs here in the second. A lot of talk after yesterday's game and before today's game about the base running gaffe, the error yesterday. Now, he wasn't the only one. The Cubs had 5 errors made by 5 different players. So Dale did talk to his shortstop today, and Starlin knew that he made a mistake when he lost sight of the ball on a stolen base and ended up getting thrown out at third, down a bunch yesterday. Running right, this is HEISEY. It'll bring up the third baseman, Valbuena. He's hitting 6th. Ahead of BRYAN LAHAIR.
And then we touched on it yesterday. Ryan Ludwig playing left field for the Reds. Today it's Chris HEISEY out in right field, and we are both in agreement. I think a lot of people would agree that Ryan Ludwig is one of the best right fielders for a visiting player we've ever seen here at Wrigley Field. He hasn't played right field 1 inning for the Reds this year.
And that might be why the Reds just leaving him in left. He's been playing this season. There's a strike on Valbuena, but in this park it makes a difference. Right field is much more difficult to play than left.
Especially as the afternoon wears on, the sun gets tougher and tougher on the right side of the field.
Cincinnati doesn't really make much of a difference. You can still turn around and watch the ball land in the Red seats in any of the outfield spots. Arroyo with the best leg kick in the history of baseball.
It's unique. There's no doubt about it. When you see that windup, you know it's Bronson Arroyo pitching.
Slicing drive to left. Fair ball. Going to rattle around in the corner as Valbuena stops at second with a two-base hit.
Valbuena starting to heat up a little bit again after a prolonged slump at the plate, starting to drive the ball to all fields once again. That one rattling around down in the left field corner. Ludwig digs it out of the vines and gets it back in, holding Valbuena to a double.
Now it's Bryan LaHair getting his first start since Tuesday. LaHair homered off Arroyo earlier this season. Walloped. Great American Ballpark. At the time, Bryan was playing first base every day. (2-0).
Reds have a two-man rotation behind the plate. Ryan Hanigan doing the catching today for Bronson Arroyo. He'll also get Matt Latos and Johnny Cueto when they pitch for the Reds. And Devin Mesoraco yesterday caught Mike Leake. He also catches Homer Bailey.
The count with Clevenger on deck. Early on, second inning, no score. Arroyo had a pretty good month of July, 3-1 with a 2.64 earned run average. His first two starts in August, 11 and a third innings, 9 runs, 4 homers. I would imagine this happens a fair amount with Bronson Arroyo, just because, as you said, he has so many different options in every count.
He'll work his fastball both directions. He'll sink it, he'll cut it, he'll throw a four-seamer up above the top of the strike zone. He has a curveball, a slider, a changeup, and according to Fangraphs, the unidentified pitches, the double X's. He throws a few of those too.
Missed on the slider there, and Bryan LaHair takes the walk.
Changes speeds on all of those pitches. He'll change arm angles from time to time. And as I mentioned earlier, if he feels if I throw one underhanded between my legs with my eyes closed looking toward center field, if I think that's what I have to do to get a hitter out, that's what he's going to do.
Well, Steve Clevenger, his first action since he was ejected after taking a ball. Something I had never seen. Dusty Baker, I asked him, had you ever seen it? He said, nope, this was Thursday night.
Well, the pitch before had been called a strike in a very similar location. That's what the onset of the argument was. And of course, you can't argue balls and strikes in the big leagues. Steve Clevenger feels very bad about getting ejected from the game because he knew what a compromising position that put Dale Swayman, the Cubs, in without a third catcher on the roster.
A lot of the frustration stemmed from his first at bat when Mike Leake kept hitting each corner. And a base hit into left. Valbuena will be stopped at third by Pat Listash. They're loaded up. Pat might have been more aggressive with a different starting pitcher for the Cubs, but it's Travis Wood today, and he comes in at 222.
Nice piece of hitting there, tomahawking that high fastball to the opposite field. Ludwig charged that ball hard. Usually the determining factor for a third base coach is, where is my runner when that left fielder picks up the ball? If my runner is short of third base, I have to hold him. If my runner's on third base, it's 50-50. If he's around third base, I'm going to send him.
Valdez is in at third. Double play depth up the middle.
We'll get a look at it. Ball lined into left field. Valbuena about one step short of the bag when Ludwig picked up the ball, and he was in a very shallow position out there in left field after charging that line drive. So Pat Listash throws up the stop sign. A lot of other factors as well, as you mentioned. Who's the next hitter? What's the score of the ball game? What inning are we in? What have we been doing against this pitcher this afternoon? Think about all those things ahead of time so you can make that split-second decision when that runner gets to third base.
Our AT&T U-verse multi-view, the Cubs have them loaded with an 0-2 count on Travis Wood. 3 consecutive breaking balls from Arroyo, that one missing. 1-2. And he got him. First strikeout for Arroyo. 2 outs.
One thing to keep an eye on with Bronson Arroyo is how rarely he throws strike fastballs. Going to show a hitter a fastball up above the top of the zone or off of the outside corner, or maybe push him off the plate with a sinker on the inside part of the plate, but rarely will you see him just rear back and throw a fastball down the middle of the plate. He just doesn't do it. If he needs to throw a strike, he's more comfortable with his curveball or his slider, rolling those up there in the middle of the zone to get a called strike.
Valbuena at third, LAHAIR at second, Clevenger at first. 2 outs. DeJesus takes a fastball just on the outer edge of the strike zone. Borrowing Tony Campana's glove.
Tony down in AAA Iowa, but his glove is still here at Wrigley Field. Enormous glove.
Another one. 0-2.
You can really tell that Bronson Arroyo and Ryan Hanigan work a lot together. When he wants to throw that sinker to the inside part of the plate to a lefty, Hanigan almost disappears behind the hitter. Really concentrating on getting that sinker inside.
And a base hit on an 0-2 pitch. Valbuena scores. LAHAIR to the plate. 2-0.
What a great approach. Just stayed back, let that breaking ball get deep into the hitting zone before finally pulling the trigger, sent it right back where it came from, plating a couple of runs. Throw back into the infield, got by the first baseman, got by the catcher. Arroyo was backing up to play to hold Clevenger and DeJesus at second and first.
A 2-0 lead. And the inning's not over yet. First and second for Barney. And he pops on the right side of the infield. It's Frazier near first to end the inning. Cubs do capitalize with 2 outs, and on an 0-2 pitch, the Jesus knocking in a pair.
WGN Radio Cubs Corner, sponsored by Wintrust Community Banks. The next Cubs Corner is next Tuesday at Wildfire in downtown Chicago. Join Dale Swain, Jeff Samardzija, and James Russell for a live WGN radio broadcast and enjoy a great 3-course lunch, all for just $55. Tickets are available now by calling Wildfire at 312-787-9000 or visiting Cubs.com.
Travis Wood trying to end a career-long 5-game losing streak, leading his former team 2-0 here in the 3rd inning. He had won 4 starts in a row and was really good June 19th to July 6th. And had a very rough patch at the end of July. It's been better here in August, but first 2 starts have been losses. The 0-1 to his former catcher Ryan Hanigan. 1-1. Hanigan was a young guy the last few years. Ramon Hernandez was the old guy. They would split time behind the plate. And as you mentioned, now it's Hanigan is a veteran and Devin Mesoraco, the young buck.
Now, this particular stat can be a little bit deceiving, Len, but Ryan Hanigan has the lowest ERA among major league catchers. I say it can be deceiving because if you're catching the number 1 and 2 starter in your rotation exclusively, well, chances are you are going to have a low catcher's ERA. But one lofted out to Brian LaHair. A little trouble with the sun, but able to make the play near the foul line. Ryan Hanigan, widely recognized and praised by his own coaching staff and coaches and pitchers around the National League. He is a pitcher first guy behind the plate. Offense is a bonus.
As Bronson Arroyo steps in, let's look around the major leagues. Jordan Danks, game-ending homer against Oakland last night. Mike Trout with 5 RBIs against the Mariners. Paul Maholm went the distance for the Braves in New York to get his 10th win. 3 hits, no walks, 5 strikeouts, 95 pitches. And the Nationals became the first team to get to 70 victories.
Well, you could have made a lot of money taking that bet in spring training. Which team's going to make it to 70 victories first? I don't know too many people that would have picked the Nationals.
We haven't seen them since the first series of the season, but I know after 3 games we were convinced. Down the middle, Arroyo gone, 2 away. 2 strikeouts for Wood, both of the looking variety. Paul Maholm last night had his sinker working well. Of the 27 outs, over half were ground ball outs. Faced just 2 over the minimum, in fact. And that 4-0 Atlanta win. One and one on Cozart, who hit the first pitch of the game to third for a ground out. One and two. Wood went 6 innings in his last start, gave up just 2 runs, but it was a 2-0 loss at San Diego. Start before that, a 2-1 deficit when he left against the Pirates. That'll end the inning, called strike 3 to get Cozart. Travis Wood's been really good against his ex-mates so far. Lendy Castillo from the 15-day DL. Lefty Scott Maine sent to Iowa. And also the Cubs announcing that Tim Wilkin has been promoted. He's now special assistant to the president and general manager. Jaron Madison hired as the club's director of amateur scouting. We're going to hear here momentarily from Jason McLeod, the Cubs senior vice president of scouting and player development. Madison comes over from the Padres. Here's Anthony Rizzo taking ball 1 inside. 2-0 Cubs in the third. Castillo had been on the disabled list with a left groin strain. 7 relief appearances before he got hurt. Does make his next appearance. It'll be his first in the big leagues in about 3 months. Going down in mid-May. Just missed. 2-2. Bottom of the order, starting that rally in the second, and then David DeJesus with 2 outs and 2 strikes. Knocked in a couple. One hop. It's the shortstop COZART. Let's hear from Jason McLeod on the promotion of longtime scouting director Tim Wilkin.
You know, Tim's such a talented evaluator. His history speaks for itself, and for us, it allows us to utilize his strengths to even reach more areas of the organization. And I know he's really excited about it, and kind of it makes him feel not re-energized like he needed it, but he's been in amateur scouting so long and done such a great job there. I know that he felt like he was ready to contribute to other departments in the organization.
So Tim will continue to scout players for the draft, but also will add some major league, international, and pro scouting duties. Jaron Madison comes over from the Padres, where he worked with Jason McLeod and Jed Hoyer.
Well, and moving forward, talent evaluation is going to be huge. There's no question about it. That's the direction that the game is going in general. The ability to identify amateurs and even current major leaguers and see how they fit in with your organization. Moving forward, how can you best improve your ball club, but especially that amateur draft.
And I like what the Cubs have done with their front office. Is Soriano. It's a grounder to COZART. 2 outs. They've added eyes, ears, and brains to the front office. I think the tone has been set really since Theo took over, Bob, that you can't have enough good voices in terms of talent evaluators in your organization.
And the Cubs historically had been undermanned in the front office in a lot of the baseball development areas, in the scouting area. Just didn't have the manpower that some of the other organizations did have. So yeah, really just kind of catching up to the rest of the pack right now. But you're absolutely right. The more good baseball people you can have in-house, the better chances you're going to get it right.
Astro hits that ball hard, but lines to Drew Stubbs in a quick 1-2-3 for Arroyo. We head off to the 4th. Cubs 2, Reds nothing.
By the new Doritos Locos Tacos from Taco Bell.
It's like clockwork after the third inning. Every home game here, the Menards grounds crew comes out and smooths out that infield dirt. Travis Wood has faced 10 Reds, only one has reached. Swing and a miss by Drew Stubbs.
It's apparent for the Reds, after playing behind Travis Wood last year, they feel like he's going to try to jump ahead in the sequence. A lot of first pitch swinging here from the Reds today. It's no secret Dusty Baker has always been a very aggressive hitter's manager. He wants to see his guys swing that bat.
Well, he had acknowledged before the game today, I was talking to him, just how important that win was yesterday. The Reds had lost 5 in a row. The Cubs had committed 5 errors in the game, but they just would not go away, and that was why he brought in his closer in the 8th inning. He remembers the Padres losing, what, 10 in a row late in the year 2 years ago. And torpedoed their playoff chances. So he realized that a 5-game losing streak could balloon to 7 or 8 very quickly. Stubbs strikes out for the second time. The Pirates lost to the Padres 9-8, so they're now 3.5 out. Chase Headley homered from each side of the plate. The Padres have now won 10 in a row at PNC Park. But the Padres got some really bad news after the game. Their closer, Houston Street, got hurt on the final play of the game. Suffered a calf injury. It looks like he's going to the DL, a left calf strain. His scoreless streak now at 21 1/3 innings. Still hasn't allowed a run since June 17th. And during this stretch, opposing batters are 3 for 66 against him, but he's going to be out a bit.
I tell you, there's a lot of impressive closers in the game. We saw one yesterday for the Reds, Aroldis Chapman, coming in throwing 100 miles per hour. But I tell you, Houston Street in that series we just had in San Diego, as impressive as I've seen this year. Tremendous command of all of his pitches, a lot of movement, as efficient as anybody we've seen.
How about that shot with the beautiful blue sky off in the distance? Brandon Phillips turns on one. And that'll get all the way into the corner. Phillips, with a play in front of him, is going to put on the brakes at second. Big turn around the bag.
Soft line drive. That cutter got in on him just a little bit. You could see how far off the plate it was, but he's able to keep it fair down into the left field corner. It's one of the more aggravating things for me and for a lot of people about Brandon Phillips. He decided he might have a triple. He ran hard out of the batter's box that time before slamming on the brakes when the throw was on its way back to the infield. Yesterday he hit a pop up to center field and barely made it to first base. The ball dropped because of the wind. And it should have been a double. He was at first base. He kind of picks his spots to turn it on and turn it off. Now, that being said, when he decides to turn it on, he could be as good as anybody in the game. The frustrating thing is, why wouldn't you want to do that all the time?
The Reds with a runner in scoring position for the first time. Ludwig with a big day yesterday. Homered, doubled, scored 4 runs. Triple shy of the cycle. Yes, he homered yesterday, believe it or not.
Yeah, hard to believe. Line drive toward the gap in left center field. Just got it into the front row of the bleachers.
That's the one spot in this ballpark where the wind doesn't seem to affect fly balls if they're hit low enough. You got the building across the street and the big bleachers. Look out. Broken bat goes over the head of Mark Berry, almost into the Cubs dugout. If you keep a deep drive low enough out in that area, you can get it out even when the wind blows in.
Well, and for Ryan Ludwig, and talking with Dusty Baker and Chris Spire this morning, you look at this Reds roster with guys like Joey Votto and Drew Stubbs, and Todd Frazier, Brandon Phillips. They said Ludwig hits the ball harder than anybody on this roster. Really surprising after a couple of lost seasons for Ryan Ludwig that he's bounced back the way he has, and he's an integral part of this offense.
Gets hit. So 2 on now.
Cutter just kept on cutting. Catches Ludwig on that left hip. He'll head on down to first base. Not all bad. You don't ever want to hit anybody, but with first base open, it sets up a potential double play here with Frazier at the plate.
4th hit batter of the year for Wood. Other injury news. Red Sox third baseman Will Middlebrooks has a wrist injury, and there are all kinds of reports that it's broken and that he's done for the year. He got hit on the right wrist last night against Cleveland by a Esmail Rogers fastball. Driven out into left center field. Base hit. Phillips scores. Ludwig motoring to third. A good job by Soriano. Tell you what, he's kept a couple of base runners from advancing. Kept Phillips to a double. He keeps Frazier to a single. 2-1.
A couple times on the last road trip we saw Soriano in a similar situation try to throw out the lead runner at third base, allowing the batter to move into scoring position as well. But nice play to cut that one off in the gap, get it back to second base quickly. You can see the big turn that Frazier took. You can do that because being a first baseman, Frazier knows that Anthony Rizzo is over in the middle of the infield as the cutoff man on that play. So you can take that big aggressive turn at first and still make it back safely should the throw come into second base.
Wood needs a double play ball here. Chris HEISEY flying to right his first time. Frazier with that RBI now 2 for 2. On the outside corner. And Chris HEISEY has done something that's really tough to do even for veterans, but especially for young players. He's been an elite pinch hitter. 6 career pinch hit home runs already, hitting .329 in that spot. Called strike 3. That's a big one for Wood. Chance to get out of it here with limited damage and keep the lead. What was he looking for?
It's that cutter again. You see where Clevenger sets up that ball cutting back toward the middle of the plate.
Five strikeouts, 4 looking.
Sometimes a little knowledge of an opposing pitcher as a former teammate can be a dangerous thing. It almost looked like HEISEY was just waiting for some kind of an off-speed breaking pitch and never got it. One cutter in, two cutters away. See you later. Gets into that he thinks that I think that he thinks that I think that he thinks he's going to throw an off-speed pitch. I'll show him.
Goes back to the paralysis by analysis we were discussing, I think, yesterday.
A line I've used many times in the past. The great Walter Alston once said, "A full mind is an empty bat." The more you think up there at the plate, the better your chances of making some kind of an ugly out. You see it and hit it.
Runner goes from first. That's bounced foul. Frazier took off. A little retreat. 1-2 count on Valdez. Castro, a little flip to Barney, and they get Frazier at second. The inning is over. The Reds get on the board. We go to the last of the fourth. Cubs 2, Reds 1. Since 1980, which team has more MVP awards? The Cubs or the Reds? We'll have the answer coming up. (1980). Past 3 decades. Let's see, Rhino, Hawk, Sammy, called strike on Luis Valbuena. Harry Larkin for the Reds, Joey Votto. You can think of another Red. I think it's 3-2 Cubs.
Chris Sabo. And we've talked a lot about Bronson Arroyo and his variety of pitches and changing speeds and arm angles. But after you get a look at him, the numbers tend to swing in the hitter's favor. First time through the lineup, actually first 3 innings of a ball game, the opponent's batting average sits at 233. Innings 4 through 6, it jumps up to 310. And then in the final 3 innings of the ball game, it jumps up to 333.
Ground ball to Cozart. He's made 3 of the last 4 plays on defense for the Reds.
Well, Bronson Arroyo was one happy Red when he got to Wrigley Field today and saw the flags blowing in. He gives up a lot of fly ball outs. He gives up a lot of home runs. Probably more so than any other pitcher on this Red staff. He's dependent on that wind here at Wrigley blowing in when he's on the mound.
Well, he always takes the ball since the Reds got him in 06. He leads all National League pitchers in starts. This is number 224. High in the air. Wind blowing out. That's a home run, but not today. It's what you were just talking about. 2 outs. 1,400 innings since the Reds got him.
Hey fans, next time you want to catch a Cubs game, head to StubHub, where you'll find the seats you want and the freedom to choose where you want to sit. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Chicago Cubs. For more information, visit Cubs.com/StubHub.
His hands got out there, and apparently so did the head of the bat, according to Alan Porter. He will give up home runs.
Money on the season.
About 46 last year, most in the league.
And certainly you can explain a lot of that away by his home ballpark where he makes half his starts. That's a real bandbox in Cincinnati.
He gave up 46 last year. The American League leader in that category, Colby Lewis of the Rangers, allowed 35. In fact, well, I look back at the leaders here. 46 allowed, the most in a season since Jose Lima gave up 48 in 2000. First year of Minute Maid. It was Enron Field or something at that time, as he strikes out Clevenger to end the inning. 2-1 Cubs. action. Travis Wood making his first career start against his original team, and first 3 innings he was lights out. Did give up a run in the 4th, but still has the advantage as he tries to snap a 5-game skid.
Not only doing a nice job of moving the ball in and out against these Reds hitters, but in those highlights there, every pitch from the middle of the thighs down, most of them right around the knees.
He hasn't walked anybody. He's kept the ball in the ballpark. These things normally lead to success as he faces 8, 9, and 1, starting with Ryan Hanigan. More injury news. Todd Helton goes to the 60-day disabled list after right hip surgery, so he's out for the rest of the year. It's been a rough season for the last place Rockies, 41 and 69, pulling up the rear in the National League West. CC Sabathia's got a sore elbow, and he might be skipped over his for his next start. And every day, Bob, I read something new or different, something that's refuted regarding Stephen Strasburg's innings pitched limit. It sounded like it was going to be 160 innings early this year. Then the general manager, Chicago native Mike Rizzo, came out and said, I know what is going to happen. I'm not going to tell you. Speaking of the media, as Hanigan leads off the inning with a base hit to right. So the Nats GM saying, I'll make that decision. Since then, though, we keep hearing all these rumblings. Will it be 180 innings? Well, Mike yesterday, before their game against the Diamondbacks, said there's no official limit yet. So I guess when he's done pitching, we'll know what the limit was. He's at 133 1/3 currently, and they've decided to go every 5th day. They're not going to skip starts or add a day or two between starts. What is your thought on that? Just letting him stay on his normal routine until he's finished.
Whenever that is. I've just been around this game so long, Len, and I've talked to a lot of other people about this particular issue, and we all understand Stephen Strasburg and his value to that Nationals organization moving forward. But opportunities to play postseason baseball are so rare in this game. I just can't imagine taking your best pitcher out of the rotation for any reason.
Arroyo moves that tying run into scoring position.
If he's physically able to take the baseball, I'm going to hand it to him every 5th day until we either win the World Series or get eliminated.
The big question is ultimately, what do you have to replace him? And if you get into the postseason and you don't have him, you're not going to use a 5-man rotation anyway. So that's another part of how you weigh it. A couple of shots here for the Reds to tie it up. A strike to Cozart. I guess there are 2 parts to the question. The part you talk about, having a rare opportunity in a fairly new baseball market, at least for the last 30 years, 40 years. And then you have the pitcher himself. If they push him past 200 innings and he goes all the way, pitches through the World Series, and they win it, he may not get hurt. He may be fine. It may make him stronger in the future. But if he does get hurt and they don't shut him down, the story will be that the Nationals got him hurt or ruined his career. Swing and a miss, 2 outs. So I think a lot of it is just to prevent, at least say that we did everything we could. And you know what? They may limit him to 160 and he gets hurt anyway.
Right.
You don't know. But I bet you Mike Rizzo has lost a lot of sleep trying to figure it out. And as Rob Nair, our good friend, points out at SB Nation, it would be the District of Columbia's first World Series championship since 1924. So it's been a while. Now the White Sox have done it a little differently with Chris Sale. They've skipped a start, pushed him back, trying to keep that innings limit down.
Well, it's not an easy question to answer, and I would venture that if you went around to all 30 teams in baseball and asked them what they would do in similar circumstances, you'd probably get a wide range of answers. I just wouldn't want to have to explain to my season ticket fan base and the other 24 players on the roster why we're taking our best pitcher out of the rotation in the middle of the pennant race.
Here's one counter to your argument. Your top three guys have been Strasburg, Gio Gonzalez, Jordan Zimmerman. Ross Detweiler 6-4 with a 2.99. Edwin Jackson 6-7 but with a 3.56. So they do have other guys who've pitched well, and the question is, how big a drop in a postseason game is it from Steven Strasburg to Detweiler or Jackson?
Ask the team they're playing against what the difference is.
You're right.
Going into a game knowing you're going to face Steven Strasburg, one of the best young pitchers in the game, on top of his game. And not to take anything away from Detweiler and Jackson, but I got to feel a lot better about my chances against those two guys than I do against Steven Strasburg.
Well, the other thing is, let's say the Nationals clinch early and you still have some innings left. Does Strasburg not pitch for 3 weeks and then come back and pitch in October? That's where it gets really tricky. So we'll find out. We'll see the Nationals coming up on a road trip. Called strike three, and Travis Wood gets out of it. Hanigan at second with one out, but the Reds cannot convert. The first 20,000 fans the chance to win free food If the Cubs get a base hit in the 5th inning, fans with a base hit for Burrito's game card win a free entree. We'll finish up our conversation. Yeah, check it out, SBNation.com, as Rob Neyer has a great column about what the Nationals are doing with Strasburg, about their options down the stretch. As Travis Wood lines right to Ludwig for the out.
It's holding a 2-1 lead. Wouldn't hurt anything to add on a couple of runs. You can see the shadows just starting to creep up behind the home plate umpire, getting very near that third base line. Obviously, with the sun setting in the west, unless something has changed drastically, that shadow is going to move right out across the plate between the mound and home plate, and making it very tough to see pitches. Think there's any chance the sun will just stay where it is? Maybe set in the south today?
No.
So we're going to have some shadows to deal with.
Well, the sun may do what it wants, but we're going to continue to move.
Yeah. And hitters know that. You know, when you travel around your regular season schedule, which ballparks are going to have issues with the shade in the afternoon. The sun, depending on which part of the game you're in. Some ballparks, the lights become a factor when they take full effect. And when you come here to play Wrigley, one of these 3 o'clock in the afternoon starts, you know that you're going to have to deal with those shadows at some point in the middle or later stages of the game.
Prior to August of '88, you play the late afternoon games here. You'd have to deal with the sun going down completely, having games being suspended by darkness.
I'll tell you, as a visiting player, I didn't mind getting games suspended by darkness. I'd rather have that than face Lee Smith in the shadows. Ooh, that was scary.
One and two on to Jesus, who gave the Cubs the lead in the second. It may not be related, but the way DeJesus prepares for every pitch kind of matches the way he goes about his business at the plate. Looks like he carefully either clears his mind or whatever it is between every pitch. He's not in a hurry. Fly ball well hit. Stubbs back on the warning track, and he's got it right in the vines. A near miss by DeJesus.
It's very near the same area of the ballpark where Ryan Ludwig went deep yesterday. You talked about it earlier, Len. The ball seems to carry right in that area regardless of the wind conditions. That time Stubbs goes right up into the ivy to make the catch on that drive.
He's had a really good day at the plate. Stubbs has caught 2 balls on the warning track off the bat of DeJesus, and then the 2-run single. And floated out to right. Barney retired. Well, the Sun Bronson Arroyo has settled in 2-1. The Cubs with the lead at the end of 5.
Trivia question: since 1980, which team has won more MVP awards between the Reds and the Cubs? We think it's the Cubs. Yeah.
All right, so we got it. Rhino, Hawk, and Sammy. Wow, we got it all right. No, we didn't cheat.
Much.
Not much. That's right. I did have to remember Sammy did win the MVP in '98. Even though McGuire hit more home runs that year.
Well, in a couple of years, the answer to that question may be different. If Joey Votto comes back to full health, he's a perennial MVP candidate.
Two 2-0 on Brandon Phillips. That's a strike. I think the Cubs should have had 4. Really wanted Derek Lee to win it in 2005, but fortunately the Cubs didn't contend that year. 3-1. I think Albert Pujols won it that year. Three and 2. Big swing by Phillips. We'll do it again. Enjoyed being around Travis Wood. He's a no nonsense, no excuse guy. Talked about real good athlete. He's a baseball player.
People might not understand what you mean by that, Len, but occasionally there are guys who find their way to the mound after pitching in Little League and high school ball, maybe even pitching in college or playing positions as well. But you get to professional baseball and you find your way out there to the mound, and suddenly they forget about hitting, they forget about running the bases, they forget about fielding their position. They're just throwers. Well, Travis Wood didn't go that route. Even though he's a pitcher and he makes his money standing out there on that bump in the middle of the field, when he's in the batter's box, he thinks he's a hitter. When he's on base, he's a base runner. Fields his position extremely well, knows the importance of holding base runners close when they do get on. That's what makes him a ball player.
Ludwig got drilled by a fastball in the 4th inning. Ended up stranded at 3rd. Well hit to center, but Jesus is there. Check out the new Audi Legends Suite on the Nuveen Investment Suite level. Watch the game with a former Cub and listen to classic stories about life as a Cub. With a luxury food and beverage package and a unique gift for each guest, the Audi Legends Suite is the most exclusive way to watch a Cubs game. For more information, visit Cubs.com/suites. Frazier with already 2 hits. 7 so far this weekend. 3 yesterday, 2 on Thursday. 7 for 10. Not only is Todd Frazier a good baseball player, but he saves lives. Earlier this year, he got an award from the famous Dr. Henry Heimlich for helping a man who was choking at a Pittsburgh restaurant. He used the patented Heimlich maneuver to help the guy who had a piece of meat caught in his throat.
That happens a lot in Pittsburgh restaurants.
Do you know how to perform that?
I do. So feel free to stuff your mouth. Chew up some chicken bones, whatever you need to do. I'll save you, partner.
All right, according to the HeimlichInstitute.com, from behind you wrap your arms around the victim's waist, make a fist, place the thumb side of your fist against the upper abdomen, below the rib cage, above the navel. Grab your fist with your other hand and press into the upper abdomen with a quick upward thrust. Do not squeeze the rib cage. Confine the force of the thrust to your hands. Repeat until object is expelled. That's for a choking adult. They've got other notes for an unconscious victim, for infants. And I guess you can also do it yourself with a chair. As Frazier draws the walk. Well, he's playing first base because Joey Votto is on the DL. After left knee surgery and was doing some drills earlier on this road trip in Milwaukee, running the bases, and also some sliding drills. Some people out there may say, well, if you're on the DL with a left knee injury, why would you go sliding? Well, I'd rather have him do that there, and if he feels something, deal with it, than have him come off the DL and have that happen on the first slide into second base. And yesterday, he had another procedure, so that's going to push his return back. I'm now saying maybe 7 to 10 days, no exact return date.
It's pretty much standard protocol with a guy coming back from an injury. You want him to simulate just about anything that he may run into on the field of play, and obviously being a baseball player, a real good chance. A guy like Joey Votto, as often as he gets on base, he's going to have to slide. So you want to make sure he can pass that test before you clear him to go back on the field and play. And it's unfortunate it is for the Reds not to have him. They'd rather have him back at 100%.
DeJesus makes a catch to retire HEISEY. 2-out walk, but no runs. Cubs lead 2-1 in the 6th. minute of the excitement as two diehard Chicago baseball fans put their Cubs and White Sox knowledge to the test. The Batter's Box presented by Midas tomorrow at 4:30 only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Breaking ball strike to Anthony Rizzo. Third time through the order for the Cubs against Arroyo. High drive out into deep right center, and it's Stubbs stopping in his tracks and making the catch. A wall of wind out there. We've seen a lot of deep fly balls here the last 2 innings. All for outs.
A wall of wind. That's a good way to put it. I was talking to Juan Lopez, bullpen coach for the Cincinnati Reds, who had a lot different angle looking at some of those fly balls in the game yesterday from the Reds bullpen down the right field line. And he said just that. Some of those drives to left and left center field looked like they'd hit something.
Will be caught by Phillips. Well, wasn't it Hank Aaron during one of the Cubs no-hitters who hit the ball to left, and Billy Williams caught the ball with his back to home plate? Ken Holtzman, right?
There's Juan Lopez. Morky. How about this? Now, it's pretty creative. I'm not sure if a company makes this particular thing, but Juan Lopez on his fungo bat, and coaches hit 1,000,000 ground balls a day. And the infielders throw the ball back to the coach so they can hit another one, and occasionally the ball will get away. And Juan got tired of bending over and picking up baseballs. He has this rubber cup-like thing on the end of his fungo bat that he can actually just poke it down on top of the baseball. It's almost like a suction cup, and pick up a ball without bending over. That's pretty clever.
That's nice. On the ground and through for Castro. Two-out single.
Well, 2 outs in the inning, you might anticipate a possible stolen base by Starlin Castro, but Bronson Arroyo is very tough to run on. We've seen that very distinctive high leg kick that he uses out of the windup. He will be extremely quick out of the stretch. Uses that slide step, completely different leg kick with the front side, and unloads the ball quickly to his catcher.
Fifth career start for Arroyo against the Cubs. 9-9 lifetime. 1 relief appearance. He's pitched a ton here at Wrigley Field. This is his 13th start in the friendly confines. He's one of those guys, and there are a few of them in this division. You know, you play your rivals in the division 16 to 18 times, where you feel like you know him as well as you can know a guy without ever having been on the same team.
Yep.
Wandy Rodriguez would be one of those guys. Carlos Lee, Ryan Braun. Albert Pujols.
Yadier Molina,
who's no longer in the league. Yeah.
close to that point with Joey Votto. He hasn't been around the game as long as the other gentleman we mentioned, but I got a feeling he's going to be around for a long time.
Fly ball left field. Caught by Ryan Ludwig. We head off to the 7th inning. Cubs with a 2-1 advantage.
Field. Game time is 7:05, but be sure you arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Cubs replica game cap brought to you by Comcast Sportsnet. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
You've got the bottom of the Reds order. 7, 8, 9 coming up. We'll see if Dusty lets his pitcher bat. He hasn't yet gotten anybody up in the bullpen. Arroyo 80 pitches through 6 innings. Wood 88. There's number 89 to Wilson Valdez. You see home plate completely covered in shadows while Travis Wood is in the sun. 1-1.
Of course, it's different for every hitter, and some guys feel like they can see the ball better longer than other hitters, but for me it always felt like about halfway between home and the mound was really the break-even point. I felt like right now you could still see well enough as a hitter. Ball's in the bright sunshine, probably 3/4 of the way to home plate, and most hitters don't track that ball the last 10 feet anyway. But as that shadow continues to move out closer to the mound, for me it was always about the halfway mark where I started to lose the ball.
Lined right to Castro for the out.
Of course, I felt like I was hitting in the shadows every day of my life.
Here's Hanigan. One early game in the bigs that started at noon Chicago time up in Toronto, and the Yankees on their 4th in a row 5-2 over the Jays. Former Cub Casey McGee with a 3-run homer for New York. They're struggling for a bit. They're back on track. They now have a 6-game lead in the East. Get into center for a base hit, bringing up Arroyo. Orioles still hanging around with the Rays. Both very much in the wild card mix. Talked about the Red Sox. Bad news for them regarding Will Middlebrooks, third baseman, wrist injury. One other game going on right now is in the National League, and the Giants lead the Rockies 5-1 in the bottom of the 6th. Buster Posey with a 2-run homer in that one. There's the bunt. Wood pounces on it. He's going to fire to second. They will get the out there. 2 down.
We were just talking an inning or so ago about Travis Wood being a ball player, and part of that is fielding your position. No hesitation whatsoever. Got to the ball, wheeled, and fired a strike to Starlin Castro, who needs to get out of the way. Stayed on the bag, got the force out, but then try to avoid that sliding runner if at all possible. Ryan Hanigan doesn't know what's going on behind him. He's just trying to break up a double play.
Fly ball to left off the bat of Cozart, and it'll get back to the seats. College basketball TV analyst and former Notre Dame coach Digger Phelps coming up with our 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by Captain Morgan. Two strikes. And Cozart. Arroyo runs, swing and a miss, stretch time.
For Take Me Out to the Ball Game, ESPN basketball analyst and former Notre Dame basketball coach Digger Phelps.
All right, Cub fans, are you ready? Are you really ready? I want to hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. I don't care if I ever get back for root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame, for it's you're out at the old ball game. All right, let's get more runs. I want more runs. Do it.
With Digger Phelps, and we got to talk baseball to start. Let's see the jersey here. It's your son-in-law's number 50.
Some guy named Jamie Moyer.
Jamie Moyer. Is Jamie
started
coming back?
in '86? Were you born in '86?
Oh yeah.
Well, anyhow, Moyer, things he got accomplished this year with the Rockies. The oldest to start and win a game at the age 49 years, 151 days. The guy beat was in 1932, 49 years, 37 days. But his big moment, 2 weeks later, where guys on second and third hits a slow roller between first and the pitcher and first baseman, he beats it out, the oldest in baseball with an RBI now.
How about that?
I said to him, "Where's the bat?" He said, "What do you mean the bat?" I said, "Forget your glove going to Cooperstown and you." I said, "Where's the bat, Moyer? The RBI, the oldest history of baseball, Jamie Moyer." And Bob, I still think I'd want him pitching in a 7-game series, Game 5 for the National League or American League come playoff time.
Bryan LaHair bounces up the middle. Cozart will get it. 2 pitches, 1 out.
Interesting watching you guys last night, and I think you hit it all on the head. I mean, watching the Cubs last night, or late last night, early into the evening, 5 errors. That's like getting 17 turnovers at home in basketball and losing a game. And, you score 8, but you give up 10, and how many were unearned? And it's funny because it's like starting to click. You're playing the best team in the Central. Obviously, the Reds got a chance to go all the way to the World Series. And you find out you beat yourself with walks and turnovers, namely as errors.
That was a rare one. The Cubs have been a lot better defensively, but they all piled up on them yesterday. And they still almost came back and won.
Yes. No,
I like Steve Clevenger.
I like what they're doing as far as making changes at the right time and sort of putting themselves in position. Finish strong this year. Let's have a great spring training, and it's a new season come next April.
So the question, Jamie turns 50 in November, correct?
Yeah.
And is he going to get another shot?
He's waiting for the phone to ring. I would, because of his experience of what he's done in baseball, especially in playoff situations. I mean, the guy knows anything and everything about batters and hitters and ballparks. And I don't know. I think right now, obviously, it's August. But he's one of those guys. You always say no to Moyer. Next thing you know, he's been pitching 4 decades. He's done more things over the age of 40 than did under 40. And you would know more than me, Bob. I think the things he's done that are hidden, like the oldest to start and win a game, but more importantly, a 2-hit shutout, complete game a couple years ago against the Braves on the road. He's got a shot at the Hall of Fame, I would think.
I'll tell you one thing about the game of baseball, Digger, and Len and I see this on a daily basis. When you assemble a rotation, it doesn't really do you any good if every pitcher throws exactly the same. If everybody throws 95 miles per hour, there's no variance for the opposing team. But you slide a guy like Jamie or like Bronson Arroyo into the middle of a rotation, it suddenly gives that opposing team a different look.
And he's the junk guy that can do that in between these guys you're talking about as starters. And I can see him being that value if you're trying to win the American League and National League and get to the World Series. But I'll never forget him last year. He was on Baseball Tonight, and he's telling Barry Larkin, I put an X on this side of the batter, X on that side of the batter. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spots and throw 4 pitches. That's 32 that I throw at you. So, yes, I'm pushing Jamie Moyer for the Hall of Fame. That's why I'm here, Cub fans.
Sounds good.
Love you.
Digger, thanks for stopping by as always.
You take care. See you next year.
It was good to see you.
Bob.
More on defense. Talked about Travis Wood, the athlete, the baseball player, keeping that tying run out of scoring position. Nice strike to his shortstop. Joe Mather comes in to play right for BRYAN LAHAIR, and Travis Wood took that at bat. We talked about his hitting prowess. He did strike out. Gale's going to go to his bullpen anyway. It's James Russell here in the 8th.
I thought it was really interesting, Len, the comments by Cubs manager Dale Swaim that we played before the ball game today, talking about players and their ability to slow the game down, and being prepared and anticipating will go a long way towards slowing the game down. We saw it with Travis Wood on that bunt play. He knew who the runner at first base was, and he knew how hard the ball was bunted, so there was no hesitation. He knew he had a force play at second base. He didn't have to look. He didn't have to see where the runner was before determining that. And that's what will help you slow the game down and make good decisions.
Well, his performance today, very reminiscent of that 4-start stretch in which he won all of them back in late June, early July. And Wood trying to end a 5-game losing streak. He's lost his last 5 starts. 7 innings, 1 run, 1 walk, 5 hits, 8 strikeouts.
And really the only change I saw today from some of the starts during the losing streak, Len, he was really working quickly. It looked like he was upset with his pace in the past. He got out to the mound quickly to start the ball game. Between innings, he was out on the mound quickly, throwing his warm-up pitches, standing on the rubber, waiting for the Reds hitters to get in the box. Looked like he wanted to really pick up the pace today.
The 8 strikeouts tying his career high. Borderline. Russell didn't get it. 3-2.
Yeah, this is the final strikeout of Zach COZART. You see where Clevenger wanted the ball, and he hits the mitt even head high out over the plate.
Hooked into left. Here comes Soriano over to cut it off. Stubbs on his way to second. He's going to stand with a double. Well, let's listen again to Dale Swaim talking about young players slowing the game down and also getting through the grind of a long year.
It's not the easiest times right now, so you gotta, the young guys that haven't been through things like this or haven't been through them in the big leagues, it's a big part of the maturing the process is the adversity of this game. Young and youth and the number you put on age, whether it's 21, whether it's 26, for the most part, a lot of times these guys have played a lot of baseball. It's being able to slow the game down here, and slowing the game down, people don't realize, is being able to think before you react.
There's Brandon Phillips, runner at second. Oh, awkward swing by Phillips.
I like to call that one the aqua bat. Looked like a cross up there from James Russell to Steve Clevenger, but Brandon Phillips swung the bat that time like he was in a swimming pool somewhere. Which, by the way, for young hitters out there, real good exercise in the summer months when you can get in a pool, take an old bat and take your swings underwater. Will really identify which muscles you use as you're swinging that bat. Brandon needed a snorkel on that last swing.
Barney playing near second just to keep Stubbs honest. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Well, I think he offered at it. Are they going to check? It was really close. I thought he took just a short stab and then pulled it back.
No argument from Steve Clevenger or James Russell or anybody in that Cubs dugout.
I guess he did pull it back. bailed out on that swing. This has been a weird at bat.
I wonder if it has anything to do with the shadows, Len. We've been talking about it over the last 3 innings here in the ball game, and the shadows now right out in front of the dirt portion of the mound. The hitter and the rest of the flight of the ball in the shadows.
Clevenger back out to chat with Russell.
Tickets are available for the remainder of the 2012 Cubs season, including the next series against division rivals the Astros beginning on Monday. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office. Well, I don't know if there's a right or a wrong answer to this, but I've had discussions with pitchers and pitching coaches and fellow catchers about what you should do when you find yourself as a pitcher and a catcher with the shadows like they are today. Should you challenge with more fastballs because the guy can't react as quickly, or should you throw breaking pitches since there's more movement?
Base hit into left. Stubbs was going back to the bag on his first move. So he has to hold at third, and the Reds have him at first and third with no outs. And what did you determine?
I think he's just glad to get this at bat over with. I don't know if he saw anything during the course of that at bat, but he ends up with a base hit into left field.
I think you're absolutely right. His reaction would certainly indicate that. He actually hit himself in a helmet.
He's a better hitter when he can't see anything.
So,
I don't think there was an answer. For me personally, I think the breaking pitches. You see the ball out of the pitcher's hand briefly, but not long enough to pick up rotation. And then as the pitch gets closer to the hitting zone, it takes the movement, and ideally the hitter swings and misses. But I can also see the other side of it. You don't have as much time to react, and the fastball would seem to get on you a lot quicker than normal.
Cubs are going to give up the tying run here for a shot at a double play. Dale's philosophy here is let's try to avoid the big inning. You see the lights are on because of those shadows. Two 2-0 now on Ludwig. The Cub bullpen is quiet. Not one left-handed hitter in this Reds lineup today. Travis Wood, the left-hander, went 7 innings, allowed just 1 run. Russell in some trouble here in the 8th. Swing and a miss. 2-1.
I guess the bottom line is shadows or no shadows. If you're facing major league hitters, you have to continue to pitch. You have to use all your pitches. You can't just stand out there and throw all breaking balls or all fastballs because there's a shadow between you and home plate. Still have to continue to pitch.
And the Reds have tied it. Stubbs scores. Phillips racing around third. Here he comes to the dish. And Ryan Ludwig has knocked in 2 to give the Reds a 3-2 edge.
They try to elevate on Ryan Ludwig. Pretty quick bat to get to a high fastball. He does it right here. A lot of top spin on that line drive down into the left field corner. Brandon Phillips showing that when he wants to, he can run the bases with anybody in the game. Comes all the way around from first base, and he'll score without a play.
So Cincinnati with its first lead today. Travis Wood gets a no decision. Russell trying to stop the bleeding. Still nobody out. Two strikes to Frazier. He's reached all 3 times. Rookie Alberto Cabrera getting loose quickly. Just punched out into left center, but it's going to be caught by Soriano, and Ludwig's going to be doubled off. What in the world happened there? Ryan Ludwig caught in no man's land between second and third. 2 outs.
Ryan Ludwig, normally one of the most solid fundamental players in the game. He just misread that ball. Thought it was going to get down in the gap in left center. Turned and tried to advance on to third base right there. He read the ball, thought it was going to get down, and was easily doubled off at second base. You don't see that happen very often. We blame that on the shadows too.
1 strike to HEISEY. Now 0-2. Another ball off the end of the bat. Barney goes out. Mather comes in. Darwin with a good effort. Can't get it. Mather overran it. And it'll be a bloop double.
Very awkward play for Darwin. Barney actually overran it a little bit with that wind continuing to blow in from center field. Joe Mather playing deep in right. He couldn't recover quickly enough, and unfortunately gets too close to the play and can't effectively back it up. How is he able to advance on to second base?
Inside to Valdez. 0 for 3. Actually got a win on the mound last year, pitching for the Phillies against the Reds. Pressed into service in the 19th inning. HEISEY steals third without a throw.
See how far the Cubs middle infielders are split there. Starlin Castro a few steps over toward the hole between third and short. Darwin Barney at a straight up second base position. Nobody close to HEISEY. Just read the defense and took the base. And for me, that one's on James Russell. When you know your middle infielders are split that far apart defensively, occasionally you have to use that spin move back to second base, even if none of your infielders are going to be there. You just have to show it to that base runner so he can't get that walking lead and just take off.
Floated out into right. The last 3 balls have not been struck well, but 2 have dropped for hits, and it's 4-2.
This is absolutely the last thing you expect when the conditions change and really favor the pitcher out there on the mound because of the shadows. But the Reds have taken advantage in this inning. It's their 5th base hit. A lot of them have been hit very softly with ugly swings, but I don't know if I've ever seen a team come to the plate under these conditions and put together 5 hits in a string of 6 batters, and the one out was a line drive to left field. Or rather, the double play was a result of a line drive into left field.
Hanigan's 2 for 3. Waiting to see if Arroyo will get into the on-deck circle. Right now it's empty. As we showed you, Arredondo getting loose and throwing hard in the Reds bullpen. Rusty and his bench coach Chris Spire are talking about it right now. If I've seen the on-deck circle empty this long into an at-bat.
Technically, there is supposed to be a hitter in the on-deck circle, even if it's just a bench player standing up there with a helmet and a bat waiting to see what happens on the course of this at-bat.
So Jay Bruce get into that on-deck circle.
Hey, you know, Len, I mentioned some ugly looking swings in this inning, battling the shadows by the Reds offense. Brandon Phillips is glad to get out of the batter's box right there. Todd Frazier gets fooled way out in front. Another one off the bat of Chris HEISEY. Inside out flare off the bat of Wilson Valdez. Some of the ugliest swings you'll ever want to see, but very productive.
Two-one with Valdez running. Is line foul. Somebody lost his beverage. Saw a cup of something go flying. It's the price of business, I guess, when you sit in that area. On the ground to Barney. He'll throw to first. And the inning is over. 5 hits, 3 doubles, 3 runs, and the Reds now lead 4-2.
Hey fans, don't miss the exciting opportunity to go behind the scenes of the legendary home of the Chicago Cubs with Wrigley Field Tours. Take a trolley to get to Wrigley Field for your tour, as Chicago Trolley Company is now providing transportation to Wrigley Field through their Northside Neighborhood Tour.
Cubs find themselves down for the first time today. Been an interesting day for David DeJesus at the plate. The two balls he's hit the deepest have been caught. That was a 2-run single in the second inning. And then in the fifth inning sends another one out deep into left center, but Drew Stubbs finding just enough room. And Bronson Arroyo stays out there. A 4-2 lead. Curveball strike. Put yourself in Dusty's shoes here, Bob. Got a 2-run lead. You probably give Arroyo one base runner here. He gives up a runner, you probably take him out.
I think that's probably the game plan. Giving the veteran Arroyo a little more wiggle room than maybe he would a guy like Mike Leake or Homer Bailey, one of his younger starters. I mean, on a cool afternoon like this at Wrigley Field, I don't know if Bronson Arroyo has even broken a sweat yet.
Just over 90 pitches. Other than that base hit by DeJesus in the second to knock in 2, you take that second inning out of the mix, he's only given up 2 hits.
Dusty did use 5 relievers in the ball game yesterday, mostly very short duty, a third of an inning, 2/3 of an inning. Aroldis Chapman went an inning and a third for the longest outing out of the Reds bullpen yesterday. And Johnny Cueto, their ace, going tomorrow, guy that leads the staff in innings pitched. So I think he's going to allow Arroyo just enough wiggle room, one base runner, and he's probably out of there.
Inside 2-2. The foul fly out of play. CC Sabathia goes to the DL. Sore left elbow. Seeing reports here that Derek Lowe is going to become a Yankee. Recently released by the Indians. COZART for the out. Barney 0 for 3, grounded out twice, rather once, and popped to first and flied out. Curveball at 68 miles an hour. .71 for a strike. 2.
Wow. It's going to make for tough at bats when that pitch is called a strike. Breaking ball. Maybe started on the outside corner, ends up a few inches farther away. I don't even know if Darwin Barney can reach that pitch.
Swing and a miss. Dropped down that time for the breaking ball slider. Gives him 4 strikeouts.
I know I complain a lot about the various strike zones, Len, but the called strike on the pitch before basically forced Darwin Barney to swing at that next pitch.
Yep. Here's Rizzo with 2 outs. You see Mike Napoli has gone to the DL. With the Rangers, he's got a strained quad. So that should mean a lot more playing time for Giovanni Soto. He's made 4 starts since the trade from the Cubs. Gio hitting .222 with a homer and 4 RBIs with his new team. Brandon Phillips down to his right knee, now up, and he gets Rizzo. So Bronson Arroyo cruising along through 8 innings, probably done as his spot's due up to lead off the 9th. Starlin Castro and the Cubs face off with the division rival Astros here at Wrigley Field. And don't miss the 7th inning stretch from Blackhawks great U.S. Hockey Hall of Famer Eddie Olczyk. Stop it right there. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Subaru Cubs pregame live. Cubs Astros Monday night at 6:30 on Comcast Sportsnet Plus.
That's a good impersonation.
For all you young baseball players out there, here's Alberto Cabrera. 4-2 Cincinnati. They'll try to add on here in the 9th. Xavier Paul will pinch hit for Arroyo. We want to send out congratulations, Bob, pardon me, to Adam Maholick and Lauren Siraki getting married today. Lauren's the sister of our good friend Jake Siraki, works in the Cubs baseball department. So congrats to Adam and Lauren.
Absolutely. I was just going to say Xavier Paul taking the pinch hit at bat here. This will be his 14th AB as a pinch hitter this season. He only has 30 overall. We saw him start in right field in the ball game yesterday, but this is his primary role for the Reds, off the bench, pinch hitting.
Takes a fastball upstairs. Well, you talk a lot about, and you were talking with Digger Phelps about, not having a starting staff of guys who all have the same stuff. Well, how about the Reds pitchers today? You got Bronson Arroyo flipping up curveballs at 68 miles an hour from the right side and from different arm angles. And now the Cubs get this guy, the flame-throwing lefty in the ninth.
Turn it up a notch or two.
Three and 0 the count on the pinch hitter. James Russell, by the way, is 5-0 in relief this year for the Cubs. And he would be the losing pitcher if the Cubs can't come back. Bounce to Rizzo. Cabrera gets over quickly to cover, and it goes 3-1.
Visit the official online shop of the Chicago Cubs at Cubs.com. Browse the largest online selection of authentic team gear, including official caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the Cubs.com shop.
Zach Cozart 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. All against Travis Wood. More history today for Derek Jeter in the Yankee win in Toronto. Had a double, an RBI book rule double in the 6th inning. So he now has joined Hank Aaron as the only 2 players ever with 150 hits in 17 straight seasons. He started this streak back in 1996. 7 times has had at least 200 hits. Castro with a long throw, safe. An infield hit for Cozart.
That's all you could do. Plant that right foot, release that throw. Hope you get it over there in time. A little bit offline, but I don't think they get Cozart either way. Nights ago in the rain, we saw a completely different approach by Starlin Castro on a very similar ground ball. Went to the hole, but because the turf was very wet that night, just tried to throw as he was fading away. Today, a little better footing. He plants that right foot. Still can't get it across the diamond in time to get Cozart.
Stubbs scored the tying run after his leadoff double in the 8th. 1-1. Good slider. 1-2. Off the plate inside, 2-2. Soriano coming over. A rare hop and catch. Haven't seen that one in a while.
Don't want to see it again for a while.
How about the Baltimore Orioles? They're trying to make the playoffs and have their first winning season since 1997. And how about the youth movement around baseball? Third baseman Manny Machado, 20 years of age, the youngest Oriole to have a multi-homer game and a 7-1 win last night over the Kansas City Royals. Boog Powell, 20 years and 258 days old when he hit 2 homers against the Twins in 1962. Well, the last time the Orioles had a winning season, let's see, Machado would have been, what, 6? No, he would have been 5. He was 97. He was born in 92.
He's a very mature 5-year-old, though.
Speaking of youngsters, Jorge Soler, Peoria Chiefs right fielder, made his Midwest League debut last night, 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. And back Phillips off the plate. Going deeper into the Cubs farm system, Boise Hawks first baseman Dan Vogelbach is on quite a streak. He has homered in 5 consecutive games. 2 more last night, hitting .381. Second straight 2-homer game, in fact. Into right and a base hit. So Brandon Phillips has appeared to be bothered by the shadows during his last 2 at-bats, but he's picked up hits both times.
Swinging a magic wand in this series. We talked about it before last night's ball game. This swing, no stride whatsoever, just kind of sticks the bat out there in the strike zone and flip it into right field. At least 4 or 5 of his hits in this series have been just like that. Just let the ball get deep into the hitting zone, get the bat on it, and guide it into right field for a hit.
So 3 more hits for Phillips. 8 in the 3 games. And it's Ludwig who had the big 2-run double. Gave them the lead. He would then be doubled off second on a fly ball to left. So he still ended up in the plus column. Maybe a couple of bonus points for the big double, and maybe take 1 off for getting doubled off. Still +1.
That would change the game of baseball if they went to a similar system of hockey.
Plus minus. Yeah. Shallow center. De Jesus to end the inning. Here comes hard throwing Aroldis Chapman. 4-2 Reds. Ubers coming up tonight after Horseshoe Casino Cubs post-game live. Luke Stuckmeyer will have PGA Championship updates. A live report from Bears camp as well. Sportsnet Central presented by AT&T Ubers tonight after post-game live only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Double switch here. Actually, Paul hit. He's going to stay in. Not a double switch. Chapman's going to go into Ludwig's spot. He made the final out of the ninth. Soriano, Castro, Valbuena scheduled. Decent chance Dale will use a pinch hitter for the left-handed hitting third baseman. Chapman got the final 4 outs, picking up his 26th save yesterday. Started him out with a slider at 89 miles an hour. Faced 4 batters, struck out 3 of them. Struck out Rizzo to end the 8th, then Soriano to start the 9th. Castro flied to center. Vitters fan to end the game.
100 on our gun, 101 on the stadium gun here at Wrigley Field.
Swing and a miss, 102 that time. Well, if he does get the save, there's a pretty good bet that he won't do this. From earlier this season against Milwaukee, got a little overexcited as he got the final out. Did a double somersault. And then ended up in the principal's office. The Reds told him that won't happen again.
I remember Cubs radio analyst Keith Moreland doing that against us when I played for the San Francisco Giants. He had been mired in a horrible slump, and
was it a cartwheel?
It was a cartwheel, yeah. After he touched home plate, he hit a home run finally to snap out of his slump, and as he was on his way back to the dugout after touching home plate, he did a cartwheel, and his next at bat, he leaned over and said, just tell him not to hit me in the head.
Yeah, he knew he was going to get hit. Now, he had made some sort of promise to teammates, right? If I do this, I'm going to do a cartwheel, and he did.
I'm not sure the motivation for Chapman doing his barrel rolls toward home plate, but yeah, Dusty grabbed him immediately after the game and said, that's enough of that, young man.
1-2 to Castro. 103 on our gun that time. There's a lot that goes into velocity, but if you had to pinpoint one thing, what is it about his mechanics or his build that allows him to throw that fast?
Just generates arm speed. I don't know if there's an easy explanation. His body works extremely well together. All of his muscles work in unison. His delivery is pretty much straight over the top. Doesn't have a lot of movement. Well, it's hard to get movement on 103 miles per hour, but he just gets that arm going so quickly toward his target.
As we told you, Street's going to be out for a while. Chapman trying to get over that 20-inning mark. Popped up on a slider. Foul territory, and it's Valdez. 2 outs. Josh Vitters will hit for Valbuena. It sounds like Chapman ultimately will become a starter. I would not expect him to hit triple digits with regularity, having to stretch out and throw 100 pitches in a game, but
You could see him adopting a similar approach that we saw from Justin Verlander earlier this year, a guy who also can hit triple digits with regularity if he chooses to do so. But as we saw here earlier this season, Verlander early in the game was pitching in the low 90s, 91, 92, 93. And when he needed to, he could reach back and get 97 or 98. I would imagine that would be a pretty good approach for Aroldis Chapman if he does move into the starting rotation. Pitch at a comfortable velocity that you can command, move the ball in and out, up and down. And then if you really need to, reach back and fire it in there at 105.
Slider and a swing and a miss.
Not a lot of movement on the slider, but enough off speed to make it a very effective pitch.
1-2 on the way, swing and a miss at 101 miles an hour. And he makes quick work of the Cubs once again in the ninth inning today as the Reds come back late. They get 3 runs in the 8th and beat the Cubs 4-2. So the Reds have taken 2 of the first 3 with the series finale tomorrow afternoon. Our GMC player of the game, Ryan Ludwig, he's come up big throughout this series for the Reds and had the game-winning hit today.
Yeah, we talked about him during the course of the telecast. His own coaching staff thinks he might be the most valuable player on the team this year. The way he has swung the bat in key situations today, no exception.
So that'll wrap things up for Bob Brenly, John Walsh, Dave Turner, Tamara Anderson. Our tech manager, Mark Harper, our executive producer, Jim Cornell Jr., our entire CSN crew, Len Casper, saying so long from Wrigley Field. The Reds beat the Cubs today, 4-2. We're back on CSN Monday at 6:30 against the Astros. We'll be on CSN Plus. Check your local listings. In-game scoring provided by ScorePad. You've been watching Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, now part of the NBC Sports Group.